Stop comparing and start living. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone. We're doing something a little bit different today with hashtag Run For Not From, as it is week 25, quarter of a century, so we need to do something a little bit different. And I am on a deload week. I'm on a bit of a rest week, and I'm not doing any cardiovascular exercise. I'm not really doing any exercise at all, apart from some stretching and stuff like that, as I feel like my body needs to recoup and sort of like regrow. I think I spoke about this a few weeks back, that you need to do sometimes. You need to listen to your body and just do the right thing for yourself. But that being said, it doesn't mean that we don't get outside. It doesn't mean we don't go for our walk and we take that time for ourselves. It's still a Wednesday when I always do my filming for hashtag Run For Not From, and I've committed to myself that I'm always going to do it, and I never give up on myself. And today we are talking about comparing yourself to others. I think everyone does it so much, whether it be social media, whether it be liking reels and seeing people's highlights and everything like that, and it just does people's heads in. And we need to start running our own race, because comparing yourself just steals your energy, it steals your focus, and it steals your progress. So without further ado, I need to put some shoes on, I need to get a coat on because it is raining a little bit, and we're going to go for a walk this time. So hopefully you enjoy, and let's talk about how you shouldn't be comparing yourself to others and how you can better yourself by just running your own race. So we are going with some very filthy Nike Invincible 3s today, because I'm not going to be running fast. I'm not going to be running at all, am I? So there's no point in wearing my nice new runners. Just get some comfy on. They've already seen quite a bit of damage. So let's just get on with it, shall we? I think people were starting to believe that I actually didn't live in the UK. I do. It's pissing it down with rain, and we're still going outside, and we will go outside whether it's raining, whether it's snowing, whatever, because that's what hashtag Run For Not From is about. If you're new to the channel, hashtag Run For Not From is about running for your problems and not from them. We face them head on, and it's about carving out that time for you, whether you're running, you're walking like I am today, whether you're cycling. It's just getting out and thinking about the problems that you might be having in your life, finding a community where you can maybe ask some questions and just feel at home. Because what we are all about is strength, growth, and authenticity. It's about being in a community of people that grow you and that don't drain you. You can't be surrounding yourself with people who just drain and sap your energy. You need to be around people who pick you up and make you the best version of yourself. So hopefully that can be this place, and that can be this community here at Nathan's Your Life. So let's start off this hashtag Run For Not From with, why do we compare ourselves to others? And I've been thinking a lot about this, and I think it's sort of hardwired into our DNA. Maybe there's some sort of ancient, primitive sort of time where you did need to compare yourself to others for survival. Am I stronger than them? Can I keep up with the pack? Because we are tribal in nature and pack creatures, I do think. And so is there something about that, of comparing yourself to that in an almost survival-based instinct? But now that we've hopefully evolved, some maybe more than others, it's made more obvious now with social media, that's for sure, with highlight reels, with filters, with doom scrolling and everything like that. And I think what's so important to mention is you've got to stop comparing your behind the scenes with someone's highlight reel. You only post on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, the stuff that you want people to see. You won't put the hard-hitting real stuff, the times when you're down and out. And maybe you're looking at yourself in the mirror and thinking, oh, I'm 22, 23, 24, 25, whatever you are, 45, and thinking and comparing yourself, oh, I'm not married, or I haven't got a six-figure job, or I haven't got kids, or it doesn't matter. It does not matter. You're running your own race. And when you start comparing yourself to others, you rob yourself of gratitude, which is where you've come from, and you rob yourself of energy, which is where you're going. So you start this vicious cycle of hating where you've come from and not pursuing where you want to go. And that's the problem with comparing yourself to others. let's talk a little bit about my personal journey with comparing myself to others. And I think I can sort of look at the 4 sort of times where I really heavily compared myself to maybe particular people or just the world in general. And that is my gym life, my drama life, my academics. Now, gym is pretty obvious. I got into working out when I was about 14, 15 years old, and I was seeing these people, mainly in America, I have to say, few in Australia, who were either a similar age to me or maybe a few years older, who I just thought were, whoa, who are these guys? How can they look like that? And then I'm a huge fan of superheroes and superpowers. I've spoken about it so many times on this channel. And I remember watching Captain America, and I saw Chris Evans come out of that massive test tube looking thing, and I just thought, whoa, that is what I want to be like. And it was from that comparison, slipping all over the place, it was from that comparison that sort of drove me into fitness. Now, that was a positive comparison, because it wasn't like a daunting fear of I'm never going to achieve that. It was almost like a, whoa, that's what I want a little bit of that. And then on the other hand, it sort of morphed and changed into when I did get in shape, and touch wood, I am in shape now, and I think I'm in shape, etc. And I feel and I look good, and I feel like I look good, which is, it's important. I don't care what other people think about it. I'd sometimes watch people and go, oh, I was comparable to them a year ago, but now they've gone miles ahead of me. How have they done it? Is it PEDs? And you start blaming things. Are they natural? Are they blah, blah, blah? And this envy comes out. And it's about quashing that envy and getting excited about things. And it's proving that they've proved that it's possible. You know, it's possible to look like that, to do the things that they do, run a sub 20-minute 5K, to bench press over 140 kilos, etc., etc. And so you can sort of like draw energy from that. When I look at drama, I was comparing myself to everyone always, because no matter what you think, you always are. You're thinking, wow, they did that scene so well, they sung that so well. I can't dance for anything. And I'd always look at the dancing team and I'd be like, what, how am I ever going to compete with them on any sort of level? And that envy sort of like came out in performances, and it panicked me and it made me more nervous. And it shouldn't have done. I should have been grateful to be working with such a talented bunch of people. And now that I look back retrospectively, I really do understand that. I was so privileged to work with such an amazing, dedicated, talented, and beautiful and brilliant team. I'm going to slow down here because this ground looks very treacherous. Now moving on to a topic I've spoken a lot about on this channel, which is my academics. And the main person and if you at all know my family, you'll know how ridiculous this is, but comparing myself to my sister. Now, I have to say this is quite a small one, because I didn't really compare myself to her all that much, because it's slippery. Because I didn't really compare myself to her all that much, because she's a fucking genius. Excuse my French. She just is. She's one of those people who she makes it look effortless. And I understand that there's a lot of effort put in to make things look effortless. There's no such thing as effortless. Like whenever you see someone that say, oh, they make it look effortless, it takes a fecking load of effort to look effortless, right? So I never really compare myself to her, because she is just so stratospherically brilliant. And I knew I was very good at different things, whether that be within academics and everything like that. But I just knew I had a different sort of outlook and a different strength system. And that's proven to be true as we've progressed, as we've got older. And I'm sure it will rear its head more as we get older and older and older. And there's no envy towards her in any way because of that. If anything, I'm a bit in awe of it. I'm a bit like, wow, like there are people out there that are that bright, and I know one very, very well. So I never really got that envy from it. And I'm never really competitive with academics, I have to be honest. And that mainly comes down to, particularly at that age, not really caring enough, as immature as I was back then, because I simply didn't. As I look back now, I care about it more, and I think, wow, I wish I'd given it a fair shake, but I didn't really. And so you have to just sort of look back at that and think, coulda, shoulda, woulda, if doesn't exist really, but oh well. So, what are my 5 little tips and tricks to make sure that if you are comparing yourself to others, how you can use it to better yourself, or maybe just to mute the noise and forget about it completely? And step number 1 is turn that envy into evidence. I said it before, If you're looking at somebody enviously, it's because they have something that you want, right? You're envious of what they have, not the way that they got it, okay? Because you've got to work hard for a lot of things in life, whether it's the body you want, the money, the lifestyle, the partner you want, whatever it may be, you need to work hard for it. So turn that envy into evidence that it is possible. They did it, you can do it too. You might just need to work a little bit harder for it. Number 2, you're going to set personal markers. You're not going to compare yourself to others. You're going to compare yourself to your yesterday. And you're going to track it on your notes page, on your phone, in a book you have to buy. I don't care where you do it. You just log it, you write it down, and you compare yourself to your yesterday. Number 3, you're going to simply limit the noise. If you need to, mute people. Unfollow them. Say to people, sorry, you can't talk right now because it is draining you and it's making you stressed, it's making you anxious. Don't be afraid to tell people no, right? And particularly on social media, who cares? You can mute, you can unfollow, and no one's going to take it personally. And if they do, that's their problem. It's not yours. Number 4 is a huge one for me, and that is celebrate others and don't devalue yourself. Think of success and life as a pie. There's enough pie for everyone. There's enough room for everyone. I really dislike when people sort of downplay and downgrade a person's achievement due to envy. It doesn't matter how they got it, whether they inherited it, whether they were born with it, whatever it may be, they've got it. I know you want it, you can get there too. So you don't need to push them down and make them feel crap about the situation that they're in, all because you just want to be there yourself, because you can achieve it as well. So find value in that fact that, oh wow, someone close to you has done it. You know, I can do it too. 5th and final, and it's certainly the hardest, and that is practice gratitude daily. Whether that's through meditation, whether that's pausing each night and having a think and reflecting over what's happened. You just need to have gratitude of where you are. A saying that I like to say a lot is grateful, but never satisfied, because I'm really happy and content with where I am, but I want to push for more. I always want to push for more, whether that be in life, whether that be in my work, whether that be in my physicality, whatever it may be, I want to push for it. I want to be more, always more, but grateful for where I've been and where I've come from. It's time for the newest segment of the hashtag Run For Not From, and that's the quickfire run reflections. And it's usually 4 questions that I ask that I need you to think about. You don't ask others, you don't Google it, you don't confide in a friend or a family member. It's all up here. Maybe you pause the video, maybe you write the questions down. It doesn't really matter, but you need to think about these questions, reflect on them, and then give an answer. Question number 1. Who do I compare myself to most often, and why? Question number 2. Where's one place you can measure progress and not perfection? Because a lot of times perfection can be unachievable. As people, we are not perfect, but we can constantly progress. I am convinced of that. Those 1%, those little shifts matter. So where can you measure progress and not perfection? Question number 3. If I channeled all my envy into energy, where would I be in 6 months' time? 4th and final question. What do you have now that maybe 2 weeks ago, 2 months ago, 2 years ago, you wished for? And now you've got it. Maybe you worked hard for it, maybe you didn't, but you somehow achieved it in that time. So what did you once wish for that you now have? That was very much needed. That rest has helped me massively, just clear my head and then go out into the world, because that was definitely something that I needed to do after a long, hard day at work. And I've got a few more hard days at work coming up, but that's fine. We expected that and we can grow from that. Thank you so much for watching. This has been hashtag Run For Not From week 25. We hit a quarter of a century. Please do like and subscribe. Use my @ tag me at Nathan Shaw Life on everything, and use my hashtag when you're going out on your runs and your walks and your cycles. Take those photos and put them on social media, because I'd love to see them. I've started seeing 1 or 2 of them pop up, but it'd be really exciting to see some more. Thank you so much. And let's go on to this week's quote of the week. And this week's quote comes from the 26th President of the United States, Theodore Roosevelt. It's short, it's sweet, snappy, and it really works well with this video. And that is, comparison is the thief of joy. Let me know what you think.